All right, let's do the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to this meeting on such a not that lovely day, I guess. We got consent agenda, we got employment for a couple folks, and we have minutes from last meeting.
Did you want to amend the agenda?
Is Scott on? I meant to ask that.
I don't know.
Did you want to amend the agenda?
Scotty, are you listening in?
I am.
Okay.
I think Becky's on too, maybe not yet.
All right, which one was that?
So let's let me take one step back here before we do the consent agenda. There is one item on here that at this time I'm gonna strike it from our agenda and we'll move for discussion outside of the meeting first.
That is 2D.
Yeah, item 2D.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to amend the agenda for item 2D, to remove it. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, so we got that up. Consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
So move.
Okay,
I'll second it.
a motion and a second. Any discussion on these items? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, first on our scheduled sessions, we have David Byer, Chief Information Officer, discussion or decision to form a furniture selection committee and to set furniture budget for the shared spaces in the B wing. David, you want to kick this off?
Sure. The reason I'm interested in this is because we've been looking at the rooms for audiovisual equipment. And those, the TVs, cameras, speakers, microphones, those kinds of things, and those are all in motion. But in talking with Jason, there's not going to be any furniture planned in that room, those rooms. And so I thought that seemed a little out of place. We should probably get some furniture in there, conference tables, chairs, things like that, to use the rooms. And so I thought I'd come to you to talk to you guys about that. There are 4 rooms that would be considered shared. There's a break room, there's a small conference room, there's a large multi-purpose room, and then there is a large conference room. There are other little conference rooms too, but those are inside of offices. These are the shared spaces that will be used for training, meetings, things of that nature. And so I went ahead and reached out to Payless, the company that we're using for our furniture, and just to get a ballpark idea of what it would cost to fulfill those rooms, and just throwing some numbers together. She mentioned $20,000, but we could maybe find furniture laying around here that we could use. I don't know what's available, what's not available. I just wanted to form a committee and explore that, because I think it would be a shame to have a new space without furniture.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense, I guess. Obviously, I'm hoping this committee would review, if you're gonna put audiovisual, stuff like that in there, that whatever furniture you put in there can, I'd hate to see you put an old conference table in that room that doesn't have any kind of plugins for laptops or anything, and then you have people running cords off into the wall and
Right.
being a pain in the butt. So, yeah, no, seems like a pretty straightforward idea to me. So this committee will meet how often, ideally?
Well, we would meet until we came up with a decision, and then we would come to you guys to share what we think makes sense for the rooms.
And then who's on the committee, or how do you?
I have not reached out to anybody yet.
So are you?
I'm just,
Your discretion?
I guess so, unless you want specific people. I would just shoot an email to the department head to say who's interested in deciding on the furniture.
Okay.
I have had 2 people reach out to me already saying I'm interested in being on that committee, so we have at least 3.
I'll serve on that for you, Chairman Schultz.
Great.
I think there's opportunities out there possibly that, like Ryan and Ryan auctioneers, they always have an office furniture sale. It doesn't have to be brand new. If it looks good and it's functional and we can save, take a look at that.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this committee?
Do we have it yet?
Oh, you want a budget too then? Is that
Sure, yeah, if that would be,
Where-
if that's possible, I'm not sure where the dollars would come from and what you guys are thinking, but,
Can we, I'd recommend we hold off on the budget until you come up with some figures and then.
okay,
I mean, cause then I don't wanna give you a budget and then you back yourself into that number and maybe you spend
Understood.
$2
Yeah, we
grand,
can-
you might find what you want. Okay, I guess I'm looking for a motion to approve the furniture selection committee.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, got a motion,
I'll second.
got a second, any other discussion on this one? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, so
awesome.
you'll handle it and run it?
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. All right, my favorite subject, change orders. Jason Slack, Director of Building and Grounds, discussion decision to approve. Change order number 7R AS 1005, electrical change in the amount of $5,954.40 with Ronco Construction and Engineering Technologies Incorporated. Jason, you wanna?
This electrical change is to accommodate the upgraded UPS for the 911 center. Before, I think we had spec'd a 40 kW UPS for the server room for the comm center. I think that was discovered that wasn't gonna be enough. They need a 60 kW UPS. These electrical changes are the upgrades to the feeder panel that need to happen for that upgraded UPS to work.
So is that change order a, oversight from the communications 911 department?
I don't know exactly, where the sizing of the UPS was done at, whether that was ETI or if it was done by Pike County, I'm not sure.
You got money in your budget for that, Bob?
No.
What do you recommend, Jason?
Well, I recommend we get it done so they can,
I'll make that motion for
Operate.
Chairman Schultz.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion,
Second.
second. Any discussion on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Okay, change order number 2, or number CRC 001, or 011, steel modifications, RFI number 062, in the amount of $1,785 with Ronco Construction.
so basically what this is, it's some structural modification that had to happen, unforeseen circumstances when they took out one of the windows on the south side of the building. They realized that some structural reinforcement needed to happen there. And that's what this is. They've already done the modifications. Ronco submitted a price to HGM. HGM kicked it back to Ronco, got it reduced for us. And this is kind of where we're at with the $1,700 change order for that.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion move.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Sure.
Got a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carried. Change order number CRC 013, extend wall height in Hall 201 in the amount of $1,173.04 with Ronco Construction and Johnson Drywall Company Incorporated.
When they tore out the ceiling in 201, which is the hallway directly off of the second floor that goes over into the B-wing. There's a hallway there. When they tore out the ceiling, the drywall is actually 6 inches too low for the proposed ceiling height. So this is to bring up the drywall that was too low.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carried. Next one, change order number CRC 014, temporary flue piping in the amount of $4,160.84 with Ray Martin Company and SOS Heating and Cooling. So what's this one?
So, okay, last week I sent out kind of an update on what needed to happen in order for us to get heat back on in the building.
Yep.
Everything kind of fell into place, the plumbing's done, the electrical's all temporaried in. Everything's ready to go, other than the flue piping. The flue piping is a specialty flue piping designated for that style of boiler. It needs to be stainless steel. It's fabricated outside of the country. This flue piping was measured and ordered by Ronco or whoever, I don't know exactly, the subcontractor, ordered it. Something's changed in the routing of that flue pipe, which means it had to be reordered, which put them behind schedule. What they're asking for is money to route temporary PVC to use as a flue pipe. And that's what this cost is, but
Is that PVC gonna be rated for this?
the PVC is okay for temporary from the manufacturer. So,
Okay.
I mean, like your furnace at home has the PVC
Yeah.
coming out, that's what this would be, temporarily. But I don't recommend that we approve this.
Okay.
Kim actually denied this, this morning. So, the reasoning, for them denying it is because in the contract, it says utility services. Ronco is responsible to maintain existing utilities indicated to remain in service and protect against damage during selective demolition operations. Do not interrupt existing utilities serving occupied and operating facilities except when authorized in writing by owner. They're supposed to provide temporary services during interruptions to existing utilities.
Okay.
So,
this is for them to deal with.
That's written into the contract, they need to take care of this. And I don't have a further update at this time. The flue piping that was reordered is supposed to be in November 4th, but they're not sure if that's a ship date or an arrival
We
date.
can't heat this place till November 4th?
So, what we're gonna pressure Ronco to do is to get this temporary flue piping put in. So, they said that, this morning, if they were to get that installed, to start installing it today, it'd be ready by Friday. We would have the heat on by, hopefully, Friday.
But if we deny this change order, are we still gonna hold?
No,
that?
I believe that they're obligated to put in the temporary flue piping at no charge to the county.
No, yeah, makes sense. I think we should hold them to the contract for sure. Okay, looking for a motion to deny then.
So moved.
Got a motion to deny, is there a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Next one, homeless camp abatement with Hazmat Response Incorporated for property owned by Potawatomi County located in or near Big Lake Park, Potawatomi County parcel number 754413301001 for an estimated cost of $9,476. Jason, you wanna talk about this one too? I think
This was brought to the county's attention by the railroad, Union Pacific Railroad, 2 weeks ago. At that time, I went up to, the property. I'm not sure if you all are aware of where this is. Tim seems to be aware. Okay, just north of Big Lake, half-mile north of Big Lake. Went up there with sheriff's deputy, railroad police, and look, there was 2 individuals up there living, in a tent, among the trees, with a whole bunch of garbage. So, the railroad has issue with this. Their batteries are disappearing off of their refrigerated cars, causing them probably loss from that. Also, they just want them gone, and it's our property. They want us to get rid of them.
So I have a question on this because I'm totally in agreement that we need to do it. However, how do we stop it from happening? How do we stop it from continuing? I mean, I know we're,
That's a good question.
is this a matter of like clearing out trees and getting rid of?
Yeah, I mean, it's our property. We can get permission from the railroad to get back there on it, to get rid of some trees. That's definitely an option. We have also this issue with the property that we own in between 15th and 16th Street by Walmart,
Yeah.
that designated wetland property. We had to do this 2 years ago down there too, and it was roughly the same cost by a different vendor.
And that, Scott, maybe you can help me, but we used to farm that out, didn't we? Wasn't it farmed at one point? The 15th and 16th property?
Go ahead, Scott.
some of it, to the east of 15th Street is still farmed.
Oh, okay. But that other piece is probably, is it too wet, too marshy, is that?
It's designated
Well, it's got
habitat, yeah.
Yeah, to some degree, it's not 100% wetland.
So it can't be changed.
We can cut the trees that, we can cut the trees down there, but we can't, mess with the dirt and stuff at this point. The last I was told, so.
Okay.
Hey, Scott, are you aware of this property? Have you been able to take a look at it?
Oh, yeah.
How'd we end up with that?
That was,
Well, I'm guessing, and I don't wanna, point any fingers for sure, but, not Marilyn, who was the treasurer before Lee?
Judy Miller?
Yeah,
Judy?
Judy. Judy used to take title to some of these properties, and she shouldn't have done that. I don't know that it was her, but other than that, it's surrounded by city and railroad and stuff. I don't know how you'd get rid of it. It had to be underwater in 19, I would have guessed.
Maybe we can give it to the city.
Yeah, good luck.
well, I mean, why give our problem to someone else? Why don't we just deal with it? I mean, does the railroad want it?
Don't know.
No. I'd guess not, but
I guess I'm talking about this chunk that we're talking about, the abatement on, not the 15th
Right.
Street.
no, that's what I'm talking about too.
Okay.
I doubt if the railroad wants it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, in my opinion, we're fine taking care of this, but I think we need to come up with a solution.
Permanent solution.
Yeah, maybe we work with
Yeah.
Mark Shoemaker and maybe our Chad Gravy Man of Fire can help us get rid of some trees and debris and stuff over there.
Okay. Jason, is that the only bid you got?
It is the only bid I got. This company was referred to me by UP. They've used them before. They're certified in hazardous material. The company that we used 2 years ago, to help clean up that area between 15th and 16th was 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And they were roughly the same price as this, and it looks about the same amount of material in the area.
How do they get to that from the railroad track?
Yeah, we have to get permission from railroad police to get down there to that property.
You need a motion for that, Chairman Feldman.
I do.
I'll give it to you.
Got a motion? Is there a second? Second. Got a second? Any more discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right.
I had one more question, I guess. The folks that were living there, they're gone, right?
They were given 2 weeks to vacate. I'm not sure if they're vacated or not.
Okay. Okay.
They might be at the county jail.
Yeah.
It's probably warmer in there.
Well, I wondered if,
Do they have a furnace in the jail?
I just wanna make sure that they were, we do have services obviously here that wanna make sure they have connections to that, so if they need to go over to the Lanky campus or something and get some assistance or whatever. But, okay, we give them 2 weeks, they're out. Next we have county, I'm assuming you're here for Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
If you guys wanna talk with him, I can text him and he'll be down.
Nope. No worries. Is Chief Judge Larson on the call or Bob Gast?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty,
This
thank
is
you.
Jeff Larson. I'm on the line.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna get started with the discussion decision to authorize the chairman to sign a lease with Potawatomi County Arts and Culture Entertainment for use of the Hoff Family Arts and Cultural Center for jury selection purposes by the 4th Judicial District Court of Iowa during COVID-19 pandemic. Seems pretty straightforward. So,
So move.
got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, got a second. What discussion?
Judge Larson, how many of these jury selections do you think you will have at the Pace facility?
Well, that's a good question, and it's almost impossible to predict. But we generally will have, in Pottawatomie County, on average, at least one jury trial per week. And criminal jury trials are more of an issue because we need more jurors and more people. But it has with COVID. We just opened the floodgate trying cases to a jury a month ago, but it's still going pretty slow. A lot of cases are getting resolved. A lot of people are wanting to avoid getting together with a jury, so it has slowed down. But I would think one a week would probably be not too far off. There's going to be some weeks where it works out where the case goes away because the defendant decides to blink and plead guilty at the last minute. But we're trying to have, right now, we're trying to have all the attorneys give us, the county attorney and the defense attorney, 8 days notice of when we need to have a jury ready to go. So every Monday they're letting us know. And we can't predict, but one a week I think is a fair estimate of an average anyway.
Now, you said the criminal juries require more
Right.
jurists for selection?
Yeah.
The smaller ones.
Yeah, it does. First, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The smaller ones don't require that amount? Or I should say,
Well,
the
they don't
smaller
require as many, so we could manage it a little bit easier, but it's still, for the civils, we still will probably have, 40 or so jurors coming in to pick, and we have to do it in shifts that way. And there's not as many civil cases as criminal, so we still would be better off using it for the civil, just because we can keep that number of people from congregating, I guess, in the courthouse. But we can manage it easier with a civil case in the courthouse with a jury selection than we can with a criminal.
Okay, so it's your plan to use the Pace Center for both civil and criminal?
Correct. If we happen to have two cases going in the same week, which is not uncommon, then we more than likely will have to decide, can we pick one of them, the smaller one in the courthouse, or do we pick a jury for the criminal case on a Tuesday and pick the next jury the next day, or morning or afternoon or something like that. We're just going to have to kind of play it by ear.
Is this a pay-to-play kind of thing? So if we just do the lease, we can do it anytime, or is it you pay every time you do a jury selection?
Every time.
Okay. Because when it says sign a lease, I'm just curious what the cost is.
$450 every time we use it.
Okay. So we can just get
So
long term.
if you had a criminal and a civil, could you get that jury selection done for both of them in the same day?
It depends on the case and the attorneys and how complicated it is. Probably not, because, well, it's possible. It's possible to do one in the morning and one in the afternoon, but it's hard to predict. But we could possibly do it, yes.
Well, and then I guess this would be a reimbursable expense, right, under CARES Act or not?
Well, I haven't spoke with Matt about it. I wanted to talk to Matt about it. The state, my understanding in talking to Bob Gass, that the state's not going to be able to provide any CARES funds for this through the state, so we'll have to apply for it. Is that correct, Judge Larson?
That's my understanding, yes.
So I think that,
And I, it's not that we wouldn't, I guess the distinction is, it's considered to be a county obligation, not a state, to provide the facility. We provide the people and the equipment, but just like, the courthouse facilities. So we would not be eligible for CARES Act funding for that purpose. I don't know if the county would be or not. I haven't looked at that.
I got to jump off here, but I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you know, we're in a real difficult time. I don't have any issues with it. I'd just like for you to, Judge Larson, to be mindful, and if we can schedule jury selection for a couple cases the same day versus 2 rentals of $450 apiece, I'd appreciate your consideration of that.
We will sure do that. And frankly, that would be best for us as well, because we have to have a lot of people staffing for the jury selection. So if we get them all over there, I would rather do 2 of them in one day than disrupt 2 separate days from a staffing standpoint. So we both are motivated to get them done in the same day if possible, and we'll do everything we can to make it happen.
Okay, just one off the point question. When you have a jury selection and you bring in 75 jurors, if you bring in the first 20 and 11 or 12 of them are selected, do the other 55 just go home?
Once we have a full jury of 12 plus whatever number of alternates, then we send the rest of them away, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of depends on how particular the juries are, what kind of case it is. But I've never seen a case where the first 12 called up or the 12 jurors. Having it somewhere like the Pace Center allows us to question everybody in the same room, which means that, you know, if we're in the courthouse, they're sitting in different rooms. So when we need to have more added to the jury pool, we bring them in from the holding room to the courtroom, and then we have to start all over with the questioning because they haven't heard the questioning that's been going on for the first hour or so. So it speeds things up that way as well, and will help us in getting through the jury selections a lot quicker.
Will there be any extra cost for the sanitizing after the jury selection, after you guys leave, or will that be part of the $450 that they'll take care of?
I have not seen the contract, but my understanding is they take care of the sanitation.
Okay.
That is correct. The actual cost of it is, depending on how many rooms they need, is up to about $3,000, and the Pace Center is discounting that cost for us to use that for jury selection, $450. So, I mean, it's $450 we didn't plan on, but
We'll be all right.
we should be able to make it somehow. Did you get a motion for that, Chairman?
No, I need,
I'll make that for you.
okay, got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a second?
No, there was a motion by Belt and Wickman for discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, I'm sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Your motion carried. Thank you, Judge Larson, appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you. And before I jump off, I'll just say that if you have any issues or questions, talk to either Bob Gast or myself. But we appreciate your willingness to work with us, and we're all in this together, like you said earlier. And we'll figure out how to get from where we started to where we end up in the next few months. So we're willing to talk about anything, and we'll cooperate in any way we can.
All right, thanks, Judge Larson.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, folks.
All right, so now we are on our other business section. We struck that other item, so transfer resolution. Looking for a resolution to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution 93-2020. Resolution entitled First Quarter 2020-2021 Transfer Secondary Roads Fund.
I'll make
This
that
is Becky on the line. That's your normal first quarter transfer.
Okay, so we got a motion by Mr. Wickman. Is there a second? Mr. Ruby?
Second.
Got a second. Motion a second. Roll call.
Chairman Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisors Groby.
Yes.
And Wickman.
All right.
Okay. Motion carried. I put this next item on the agenda here, just, you know, and without disclosing too many details, Marilyn will not be returning to the county board meetings in person. She's going to be, hopefully, if everything works out, we're going to try to make it so she can do it digitally until the remainder of her term. But with that, there are affiliate responsibilities that we all have, and some of them you know, we tried to line up two people per, affiliate, and I guess what I wanna do is just take a quick look at the list of ones that she was handling and make sure that we have coverage for it. So I think in our packets, Melissa put in there which assignments we had, if I remember right. And also let me pass this around too, a minute. Oh, so just going through the list, Maryland had the, let's see, I lost here. Hungry Canyons. So Lynn, looks like you were the secondary on that,
Yes.
and you're okay handling, I don't think there's gonna be more meetings till the end of the year, is there?
I went to the last one.
Yeah, there's only, well, they meet quarterly, right? Is it
Yeah,
just-
right.
So I think we're okay on that one. Looks like she also had mental health.
No, that's Scott works with that. Scotty was the second on that one.
Yep, so Scott's there on that. Scott always handles that one. And then SWIPCO, so it looks like the fourth Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
So you okay handling the rest of those?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, looked like we had her as, Potawatomi County Operations Committee, the first Tuesday at 1:30. Not sure what that is.
Is that policy committee?
No. Operations Committee.
I don't know anything about that one.
I don't either. We have Drake and Groby on that one.
Operations committee, is that with, Bob? Or,
Bob Anderson?
I'm gonna asterisk that one, cause I don't know what that is, so let's,
Okay.
so we'll take a look at that one, but it's the first Tuesday, which we got time before November hits, so I'll find out what that one is and we'll bring it back next meeting. But, I guess just looking through the rest of the list, you know, I mean, I don't think there's really anything that's missing coverage that I can see anyway. But I guess what I just asked, you know, the board is just if you know, well, I wanna get into the routine of us, you know, bringing up the meetings that are, and I know Melissa does a great job of putting it on that small agenda that comes out, you know, that gets published. I think we should just take a look at that each week and just say, you know, make sure everyone is willing and able to go to the meetings that are lined up.
I'll take Maryland's, alternate on the, Workforce Investment Board.
Okay. So it looks like they're meeting on November 15th. I don't think she had any others, do you see? Well, either way, what I'll do is each week I will review the meetings that are up and coming. So like this week, for example, we got, looks like we got the soil water conservation. It's gonna be done via Zoom. The juvenile detention, I wish Scott was still here. I'll follow up with Scott, make sure he can go to that one. If he can't, I will try to attend that one. And then looks like Airport Authority, Scott handles those, but I'll double check with him. Thursday, MAPPA, I've got that one.
Then you've been going to
So
SWIPCO, right?
SWIPCO has a meeting this Thursday at
Yeah.
1:30, so Roby's got that one. And then, you're good on Advanced Southwest Island Friday? Okay, so we're good. So like I said, I'm gonna just in an effort to stay on top of these things, I'll bring them up each week, make sure we're good to go, and then, I think we're okay on the remainder of the meetings that Maryland had. So with that, we'll move on to the next item. Oh, discussion to resume the town hall meetings. You know, I sat in some of the, listened to, I should say, one of the candidate forums, and I have listened to some folks out in the county make comments that the board is not available to folks out in some of these smaller communities. And while I want to reiterate that that's absolutely a false statement, I wanted to see if anyone had interest in bringing these back to where we go out to that community to hold our board meeting once a month. We've got a couple months left. We could maybe do 2 or 3 or 4 meetings before the end of the calendar year anyway, and get back out there. I just want to see what your thoughts were on it. I mean, I don't know with COVID and everything if that's something we should be doing or want to do, but I just wanted to put it out there for discussion. So, totally up to you. What are your guys' initial thoughts? Do you want to get back out there again, or do you want to?
I get along fine with one out.
What was that, Lynn?
I get along just fine going out, so I wouldn't be against it.
You know, we went out to Walnut and literally 0 people showed up, and then we went to Hancock and we had a decent little group of people there. So, I mean, I just want to make sure, you know, and I know, you know, Tim, you've gone to a lot of city council meetings, you know, out there, and it's frustrating to get that feedback, but I think if we hold some meetings out there and make sure that we can institute some of the safety measures, we'd be okay.
I went to one the other day at Neola,
Did you? Yeah.
and it was an interesting meeting.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the size of the venue. If you're at Oakland, you know, you could have a
That's the
space,
thing,
but
Oakland
at
would be
Walnut,
one.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not a good,
I was at Oakland City Council meeting last Monday. And they had it didn't have it in the council chambers, they had it in
The little room, big room?
the big room.
Or the big room?
And I mean, they had people spaced out. It was, I don't have an issue going to some of those cities as long as we can get spaced out. You know, we're supposed to be kind of the leaders in trying to get this COVID mess behind us. And I just don't want to have any issue going to a smaller city. I think we can go to Oakland and Trainer. Minden would be out. Minden doesn't have very much. Crescent is fairly small. Carter Lake is big enough.
Okay. Why don't we just do those 3?
could you go ahead and say if you're in Oakland, but Macedonia's small, could you still invite those people from,
Yeah, I think we could do
from
something.
Macedonia to come to Carson
Yeah,
or
I
something?
think it's a good idea.
You know,
Yeah, Carson's big enough.
So with 3, you thinking about having?
So I think we should do the ones we know have bigger facilities, and I'll coordinate each of these with their city clerks, but, so we'll work with, what do we just say? So Oakland for
Trainer.
sure, Trainer, and then we'll work with, Carter Lake, we can do one over there. So I'll work with those 3 for now, and then I'll reach out to the others as well, and just see what measures they're taking, and see if that fits with what public health is saying we can do, and then, but I think there's some value there. I mean, I think it's worth us getting our faces out there, and they see that we're wanting to have a meeting, and then I'll also just kind of look at the remainder of the calendar year and see if there's some items that might be a little more relating to what they're doing, and try to tailor it to that too. But is everyone okay with like a 6 p.m. meeting or something if we do it in these facilities, in those places?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so I think we'll move forward with that. Yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else on that topic anyway. I don't see anything else left on the agenda to discuss, so
I'll move to adjourn.
motion to adjourn, is there a second?
second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned, and I messed up.